I met a gypsy.
Yeah, the KTM thing's so heavy. I just
Huge.
hope they get it straightened out. I mean, why? I wonder why they can't just do like the Renault thing, you know, like just the government buys them.
Well,
it's
yeah,
just like owned by the government.
I thought that there was, because of what, they're in like 2 or 3 little towns and they employ like 90% of the people there, that would lead to a bailout by the government, you know? But yeah, I don't know. I've never been to Austria. The whole thing seems very un-Austrian to me from a, you know,
Yeah, from an outsider's
simple
point of view.
American take of like, damn, how'd they let that one go so hard? But
Yeah, thought you guys were numbers people.
yeah, I mean, fuck, it's crazy, you know? I think that there's, yeah, I'm not sure. I want to see it work. I just bought a KTM dirt bike recently, you know? It's like KTM Supermoto is like one of the best off-the-rack bikes I've ever bought, you know? They make amazing stuff. If I were to look at it as a consumer, I would, and you know, I don't think they're gonna ring me on this to see what I think, but
Me.
But you know, everyone's like, yeah, they shouldn't have bought MV Agusta. Hey, they have 3 brands that make, and they've built this amazing product line, right? It's due to the hard work and success in off-road motorcycles. But man, you have 3 brands that have these insane product lines that, unless you're ahead, you do not know the difference
Yeah,
between these bikes. And also, it's like,
that's because there is none really.
right. And there's so many of them under 3 logos.
Yeah,
Sorry, Gas and Husky. We're going to do KTM, and then we'll have that same product range just under KTM. You know, it's really too much.
yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I just think it could be simpler, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I
but
think-
MotoGP like needs them.
100%.
You know, it's so sad. Like they're probably the second best team on the grid,
Yeah.
and well, arguably, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
they're right there. And with what they do for Moto3 and Red Bull Rookies
Right.
Cup and the whole like just
Yeah.
a whole ecosystem that really needs to stay, because that would just create like a massive hole in the whole program.
What's the talk around the Supercross paddock as far as that? Like,
I think they're just like they're their own thing.
well,
Like,
no, I know all the race teams are their own thing. You know, they're
Yeah.
not liable for whatever this. But you know, right? A court is going to decide. Whoever bails these people out is going to decide what they can do,
Yes.
whether that's a government or a bunch of people, and they can say that
can't do this.
pipeline to whatever that LLC is for your race program is that taps off, man.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully not. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, are people like Chase Sexton tripping?
Don't know. It's hard to read, like honestly, whether they are or not. Like you'd have to be. If I would guess, I would think that all of those riders have a backup plan.
For sure.
That's what I would guess.
Well,
I would
yeah,
guess that they've called everybody. They know their options. They know the worst case scenario. But if I'm Sexton, I would just be taking a couple of fucking bikes and just, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'd just be
yeah.
like, hey, if this shit does go south, I really like my bike right now. I'm just going to take a couple of these with me
Right.
from my van.
Yeah.
Maybe the computers that plug them in
Yeah.
and like just finish this thing out.
Well, I think that people, a lot of people are like, yo, when am I going to get a cheap dirt bike? But I don't think that's going to happen. You know what I mean? I think that all big brands, they kind of are like, well, what's the optics on that? If they're reading that we have 200,000 bikes sitting in warehouses, what do? Do we sell them for $4 or $5 and look foolish, or you know what? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I think that's what you said before. Like that's the conversation around
yeah,
who decides that.
Yeah.
Some money man comes in and just like, no, you need to fire sale these
Yeah.
things.
yeah,
$6,000 a pop. get rid of all this shit. We need to get back the money that we can.
Right now, too, because, who knows how it goes, and I don't really know much about this stuff, but it's like they could be like, okay, we're going to bail you out, but right now you are going to liquidate
Sell
everything that you have to pay, and give us that money. Like, yeah, who knows what the stipulations will behind.
Yeah.
Whoever.
I think that's what I think manufacturers are kind of like worried about that.
Yeah.
That
because that could have negative effect on other
everybody
OEMs.
else. Who's buying a 2025 CRF 450
Right.
for 10 Gs when you can buy a 2025 Kato for 659?
Yeah.
Like that just creates such an issue
for sure.
for everyone else in the industry. It's actually been crazy to watch, and it's been very interesting. Again, it's one of those things like that when you get a peek behind the curtain, you're just like, fuck, this is complicated.
Yeah.
Like this is there's a lot going on here, and this isn't as easy or as cut and dry as you make it think, like we all need each other way more than we think we do.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's sad to see in a lot of ways too, because even, listening to you and kind of watching you, talk about the 350 and stuff like that, it's like they brought things to the table that no one else was. And as someone who loves like Ducati motorcycles, the closest thing to that in the like dirt bike world is that, it's like, oh, those are like billet hubs. This is like a billet trip on a off the rack OEM bike, which feels, just feels so much more premium. And even, Kiska, which does all the design stuff for them, like that's so sharp and so amazing, like the way that they've done everything, and I think they brought so much to the table in so many ways that it's really sad to see. And I went to EICMA this year in Milan to see all the new bikes, and they have a new 990 Super Sport bike, which is their first kind of racy bike outside of that 390 package that they have, and it was one of the coolest looking bikes in the show, and like
Pull up a picture of that, Griff.
Yeah, it's a KTM 990 8C RCR.
RCR,
Yeah. Look at it
Ooh,
with the
yeah.
test livery. Go back. Yeah. So Kiska posted a shot of this livery on a screen, a desktop in their office, and I copied the shit out of it, and I did my supermoto and my dirt bike in that in that test livery. It's so sick.
That is sick.
Yeah. But that bike is so cool. And it's just cool to see him back in that space. They didn't make a bike like this forever, but like, will this thing come out now? I don't know.
Fuck. When was it supposed to come out?
This year. Yeah.
It looks dope.
They had two of them at the show, one like OEM street spec and one full race. And it was like way racier than I expected. Like just the kit that was on it was like really good. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, it might still be coming out. I have no idea. But
Just the all-time fumble of a bag.
whoops.
It's like devastating, Like,
Yeah.
why?
I think, again, I don't know a ton, but, there's always, it's not good for anybody right now.
No.
And is it crazy that one of the OEMs out of all of them fucked up?
Yeah. But it's just, you don't see it. I think that's it's like the criticism of the Japanese is that they don't innovate as much and they don't push as hard, but like they're there and they stay there.
It's really easy to criticize the fear of shame that the Japanese brands have. They're so petrified of making a wrong decision that they sit stagnant for too long until it's too. That's what we're seeing in MotoGP.
Well, I was literally about to say that, right?
Right.
Like that's literally what they're going through now at Honda is just like scratching their head as to just how we turn this thing around.
For sure. Yeah, no, totally. And I think that I don't know. I think that wait, sorry, how did we get into that one? Like
We're just talking about the KTM stuff.
Yeah.
And the Japanese.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
They're the way that they kind of
They're just so methodical.
For sure.
And just so calculated.
Yeah.
Never taking any big risks.
For sure.
There's no $60 million building in Temecula for Team Yamaha.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure. And it's it's a hard comparison for the European OEMs too, because they are not so. The Japanese OEMs make everything.
Yes.
Subways, piano. You know, there's such
Great
diverse
guitars.
businesses
Yeah.
that it's like, okay, they can cars. You know?
Yeah.
They can get through stuff easier, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, and they could hemorrhage money for longer too.
Exactly. Right. But let's see. I hope. I think that they'll be around. Just hopefully the racing shit gets to like move forward. You know. Let's see.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.